the magical talking table lamp. You place any book underneath it, press a button, it starts speaking what's written in the document. So listen.
What Shark Tank did to us was to see the whole ocean and maybe the horizon and even beyond. So we were able to see the sunshine there. When you talk to people who are really big in the industry, they are able to open up perspectives which you were not really looking at earlier. Right after our Shark Tank episode, we got a distribution partnership request all the way from Australia to Canada.
Amazing.
And everything in between.
Amazing.
And we were like, people sitting in different continents see Shark Tank India, they see the potential that AI startups in India can bring.
Shark Tank experience was our first ever investment pitch, that one on national television.
Yeah.
The CEOs of companies have asked their managers to reach out to us saying that, okay, they're able to do this handwritten recognition or table recognition. Can you ask them if they have an API that can be plugged into our existing tech piece to automate our workflows or something?
You met the President of India, Murmu, and what was it like talking to her? What did you feel?
And I felt, her energy was really calm and she's a really humble person. So I was selected as a group of 25 women entrepreneurs across India who got an opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction. So we were all in the room.
When we got a call from T-Series saying that, because T-Series also was scouting other companies who are working in the same domain or have a similar narrative or a similar vision. So I think they found us.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Pitch Cafe podcast. I'm just coming out of this amazing movie where a person who is unable to see, who almost gets killed when he was born because he's not going to be able to see all his life, becomes one of the richest and one of the most well-known industrialists of India. Now, how did this happen? Because this person who could not see found a way to read books. He used books in Braille. But hey, Braille is not common in most schools and even some of the most reputed colleges in the world. IITs do not have Braille. These are the top institutions in our country. How do people who are vision impaired read and make a career, make a life, make a living? This is a huge section of extremely talented people who do not have access to a good quality of life. Today I'm sitting with two magicians who have simply turned this situation around. They have come up with a device which will enable visually impaired people to lead a very normal life, to get access to all the information they have been devoid of, and to create their own world of success and prosperity. So with huge honor, I welcome to Pitch Cafe podcast two extremely enterprising entrepreneurs who've been recognized by President of India and many more celebrities out there. So welcome to Pitch Cafe podcast, AK or Akshita and Bonny. So Akshita and Bonny, how are you feeling today? You're here to share the story of Kibo Tech, Trestle Labs. What are you feeling today?
And we feel joyous because it's always when we are sharing about our journey, we share that enthusiasm, that energy, that passion that we have with the world, and that just makes a chain reaction. That's something that we are excited about today.
Wonderful. And what about you, Bonny?
So every single time we've had this conversation where we share our journey with people, we do it with one intent. At least if we are able to educate one individual, if not more, of how some of the assumptions that they have in terms of what visually impaired people can and cannot do is broken.
Yeah.
I think that serves the purpose, because we have had that journey personally where we initially thought that, visually impaired people, they might not be able to do X, Y, Z things.
Yeah.
Then we realized, no, they do everything.
Yeah.
It's just that they do it differently or maybe using some other tools which we may not need it in our day-to-day life. So I think
amazing.
I hope this podcast acts as a way of educating people of how limitless they are.
Yeah, amazing. I just think I watched this movie about Boland Industries. It's called Shrikant, and the visually impaired have their own extra perceptions, and it's just that they cannot read. But imagine you're giving them that ability. But hey, Trestle Labs is not just about visually impaired. You're developing some fascinating technology. tell us about what Trestle Labs is and what kind of features your products offer. Yeah.
Sure. I would say we started this journey back in 2017, almost 6 years ago, when we met this young girl. Her name is Dipali. And when we met her, she was in her second year of BA. She was doing extremely well till first semester, and she lost her eyesight within a week.
Why did she lose her eyesight?
There was some challenge. She got a fever, and that impacted her optic nerve, and that was not able to supply blood to her eyes, and that just left her visually impaired for life. And probably that was the most tragic time of her life, when she was struggling to figure out how the future of a 17-year-old girl would be like. And that's when her parents told, if someone told them, if you're visually impaired, you should go and learn Braille. So she eventually did a 2-year course trying to learn Braille. The challenge was, being at 17 years of age, her cognitive abilities were not developed enough to learn Braille as a late blind individual.
Right.
And she was not able to get really good at it.
Yeah.
Finally, she started, learning, getting back to education, and most of the colleges and institutions would not accept her because they were not able to cater to her needs as a visually impaired student.
Yeah.
And hence, she was almost forced to get admission in an open university.
Mm-hmm.
She would get printed books from her college and had to run around to an NGO trying to get them audio recorded, which would typically take 4 to 6 weeks just for one 300-page book.
Wow.
And that's when we met her, and we asked her, how will you manage your semester exams and all that. She said, hopefully I'll have 3-4 subjects before my exams happen, and the next I can clear later, and maybe in the next year. And we said, no. We took her books to our office, we digitized them, we gave it to her in the form of a mobile application in audio. And 3 months later, she calls us saying, I'm standing in a queue. I was like, where? She's like, I'm standing in the queue to fill the form for my 3rd year because I've cleared the 2nd year in single attempt.
Wow.
Thanks to the content that I had access to.
Amazing.
So that's how, that's what set the foundation for Trestle Labs, and we realized we can use technology as an enabler to empower persons with blindness and visual impairment in their education and employment journey, because we wanted to build something that handholds them through their early education, through their employment years. So even if someone goes late blind, they don't have to struggle with the hassle of trying to learn Braille and other things.
Wonderful. So this is great. Can you call it like a co-pilot, some sort of co-pilot? Tell us all about the features which this lamp, it is a lamp, it looks like a lamp. And what does it do? What is your device all about?
So Kibo, starting with the word name, Kibo is an acronym for knowledge in a box.
Wow.
K-I-B-O. And it also happens to be a word in Japanese that means hope.
Wow.
And so Kibo, if I speak very broadly, there are 4 main things that the product does. Listen, translate, digitize and audiotize. That means the magical talking table lamp. You place any book underneath it, press button, it starts speaking what's written in the document. So listen. Then suppose if you've scanned a English book and you want to listen to it in Spanish or French, so you can translate it and listen to it in the language of your choice. The third is digitize. Many institutions, like the one that Akshita was talking about, the one that Dipali used to go to get her books digitized. So you can digitize it in Word format files, after which institutions have an option to create Braille books out of it or create an e-book out of it, like an EPUB or other formats. And the last being audiotize, which means scan a book and download an MP3 version of it. So the time to the 4 to 6 weeks that it took, now it takes less than 30 minutes to process one single 300-page book. So that's the 10x leap that people are getting with the using Kibo and the Kibo Access device here.
Yeah, so this is very massively transformative technology, I feel. They say that if you're doing a startup, don't go after incremental improvements, go after something which is massive transformative. Now, I see a lot more opportunities beyond visually impaired here. You're doing handwritten documents, you're reading them. Like, a doctor's prescription is literally unreadable. You're doing handwritten documents, scanning in multiple languages. Tell us all about the language barriers you're crossing?
Absolutely. I think when we started, interestingly enough, through different channels, we realized there's a huge language gap when it comes to technologies that are out there. So most of the technologies at that time when we started in 2017 were being imported from the Western markets and had pretty much the support for English and Latin languages. But what was missing, like the gap, was the Indian language support, Asian language support, and even African language support for that matter. And we saw that those are the languages which are unserved and underserved. And if we can make technology to work that bridge, that will serve a lot of communities which are still underserved. And that's how we started working on the language gap. And also, when I look back at my college days, I used to borrow handwritten notes from my friends or share my notes with them. We all loved to prepare, for our exams through handwritten notes. And most of the technologies were only focusing on printed content, and hence the whole experience of college life or school life was, again facing a gap. So those are the gaps we started to address in terms of the support for. Today we support like 60 global languages. Our primary focus is on the Asian, African and Indian languages.
Amazing.
Support for handwriting, support for translation. So we are able to bridge the language gap. So if you scan an English book, of course you can hear it in French and Spanish, but you can also hear it in Punjabi, Bengali, Gujarati, even Tamil, Telugu and Kannada. So all of those things. And interestingly enough, we are also able to bridge the audiotization gap. Things in terms of technology really changed for us as we grew, because while we built it only for the visually impaired, we saw applications in the areas of it being implemented in rural communities where it can bridge the language and literacy gap. And from a corporate industry perspective, there are so many use cases that we are serving today. So right now we are working with banks, insurance companies, or even large libraries like public libraries, wherein we have also implemented Kibo at the Indian Parliament Library.
So what do you do in the Indian Parliament? That seems like very interesting.
So in terms of, I would say, the old way of digitization, people used to digitize things as a scanned PDF, and that's neither searchable for a sighted individual, nor can a screen reader read it to a visually impaired. So there was, the need of a new AI way of digitization in the industry that Kibo can serve today. So when we looked at all those old 1950s or 1980s documents that were scanned as digital copies, we used Kibo's AI to actually convert them into searchable PDFs. And on top of it, so interestingly enough, those documents had broken characters. So sometimes the matras or characters would be missing. And when we use it with Kibo, we are able to do predictive, semantic and generative AI based analysis, and we are able to recreate that original document the way it should be.
Wonderful.
For example, we just did a couple of documents with the library, Parliament Library. They had a word called expatriature in a document, and that just makes no sense. And when we used our predictive and generative AI on top of it with Kibo, we were able to, just like how a human mind would read it and it would recognize it's not expenditure, it probably makes expenditure as more sense. So it would regenerate the whole context of the document by leveraging AI. So
this is generative AI. This is generative AI, isn't it? You're generating something which is not there by using predictive capabilities.
So archive digitization in that space, I would say it's a big thing. Also in terms of old documents which are in, I would say, tabular format. A lot of times old Indian documents, you would find them in handwritten Indian languages, written in a table of a register and all of that. And the ability to be able to convert all of them into an Excel sheet is where Kibo adds the magic, because a lot of the existing solutions focus on printed English-based tabular content.
Correct.
The place where Kibo adds magic is handwritten Indian language tabular content to an Excel sheet.
Amazing.
So that's how we are able to use the power of our patented technology to bring all this magic to a reality and serve more industries than what we initially started with. So today we work with banks, insurance companies, or maybe even with the archive libraries and all of that, to be able to bridge the technology gap in terms of Indian handwritten or maybe other Asian and African language content that we share.
This is amazing. So how many customers do you have right now? What is your portfolio looking like?
So our journey has been, so as of now we have 600 plus institutions who we've been able to make inclusive with Kibo. And our journey has been, as Akshita said, it started with a core mission of making content accessible for visually impaired individuals. And when we started doing that, implementing Kibo, we started setting up Kibos in library, schools, colleges, universities, libraries, where it's being used as a shared resource.
Yeah.
You can come to the product, scan something, get it accessible in real time, and then go off. So it offers a one-to-many impact. One product, many impact, and that is year on year.
Yeah.
So now when we started setting it up in institutions, about 600 institutions so far, and now we've taken that leap. That this is almost over the past 7 years, we've been innovating and building the tech.
Yeah.
So the tech is so robust enough that now many of these industry use cases, table to Excel, digitization, generative AI based accessibility, I think those are the stronger use cases that we've been able to fulfill now going forward. So that's been our journey of taking Kibo.
In terms of Kibo, we have actually created the new API suite, which integrates with other softwares that other industries are using.
Yeah.
And through API, we are able to generate accessible digital content at scale. So that's something that we have been doing through the intelligent document processing that Kibo is able to offer.
You know what I think would be like a really cool use case? Like, I have a book here and I don't have time to read it. I'm just going to scan it and I'll ask the scanner, hey, can you summarize the book for me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I want to read chapter 10. Can you tell me what's in it? So I think you're moving from a reading world to a talking world.
Yes.
You're going to be able to talk to everything. Like, I think you're only just getting started with the document, and it's going to go to a lot more things. So tell us about one wild use case which you would like to implement, which has not yet been implemented before. Like a wild use case, like your imagination was wild.
I would say, of course, Bonny can add from his side. So for me, I feel that till now, what we built earlier was an AI that can see and read. What we are building now is an AI that understands and narrates.
Wow.
The way you want it. So we are building conversational AI, emotional intelligence, generative AI, and to bring that whole experience that you just spoke about, magically being able to ask things and just find the right answers. I mean, I imagine us going to, let's say, a conference, and of course we meet a lot of people and we forget who we met. And I can just ask, hey, do you remember who I met while having coffee at around 9 or 10 a.m.? And of course, I don't remember names, but my AI would. So we are looking at the power of AI to build clones for us who are able to know and remember and memorize things in a much better way. So that just augments human intelligence in a way that we are able to cross bigger boundaries. So that's the future ahead for Kibo as well.
Wonderful.
We want to take Kibo out of the computer now and make it much more personalized. Where currently Kibo talks to you, but we also want you to be able to talk to Kibo.
So Kibo is like your best friend.
Your pal.
Your pal. You're like your I want to use the word co-pilot, but this Kibo is a character. It's got a personality.
It has. Yeah,
oh my god, this is mind blowing. So that's a whole area we can spend a whole day talking about. We have so many thoughts on that. But let's come back to some experiences which you've had. You went to Shark Tank and you pitched this idea. Everybody there was excited. Obviously, they saw a very, very big vision, and they made it very clear that you've done a small use case and there's a lot more there. So what was it like going to Shark Tank, and did you feel that at that point that you don't want to get investment, you want to build something bigger and come back? Did you feel?
Homies, I'm Vida Patil, and I'm thrilled to introduce to you my latest project, 10 on 10, the Startup Playlist. Learning startup lessons and getting mentored by a Silicon Valley legend by way of rap songs. Have you ever wondered if startup lessons can be sung in the way of a startup rap song? Listen to one of my Gen Z founders, collaborators, singing my rap song.
2, 1.
A talking table lamp, Kibo Device, converting printed text, making them precise. 600 institutions made them inclusive. 100,000 lives changed, our missions conclusive.
This young girl, vision lost overnight, her spirit shone bright, igniting the light. At Trestle Labs, we took flight, with the vision to empower, turning darkness to sight.
Here Bonny, we are the music artist home, building tech that speaks what our vision to grow. From handwritten to audio, in 60 languages we flow, making education and jobs for those who win grow.
Check out the book 10 on 10, 10 startup lessons under 10 minutes each.
Do you want to learn about startups under 10 minutes? Check out the book 10 on 10, 10 startup ideas under 10 minutes.
Check out the book 10 on 10 by Vida, Patil and Vida.
Absolutely. I would say it was an eye-opening experience for us because we were looking at the world from a frog in a well lens.
Right.
But then what Shark Tank did to us was to see the whole ocean and maybe the horizon and even beyond. So we were able to see the sunshine there. So I would say that kind of an experience happened when we were at Shark Tank. Of course, it was overwhelming. We had a lot of inputs and a lot of insights. But of course, when you talk to people who are really big in the industry, they are able to open up perspectives which you were not really looking at earlier. And another thing that Shark Tank did to us was so many people watch Shark Tank. We had almost right after our Shark Tank episode, we got a distribution partnership request all the way from Australia to Canada.
Amazing.
And everything in between.
Amazing.
And we were like, people sitting in different continents see Shark Tank India, they see the potential that AI startups in India can bring, and also take that leap of faith to bring that technology to their countries. And I see that as a powerful resource when it comes to being or pitching at Shark Tank India.
Amazing. Wow. What did you feel when you were there? I just, seeing that moment where you're negotiating with these amazing guys.
We are since we started in 2017, and since then we've built Trestle Labs. We are bootstrap startup. We've not raised capital so far, and Shark Tank experience was our first ever investment pitch. That one on national television. So we are very strong on our products, but we were not very strong on what do we expect, how do we negotiate, and because now that's a question of asserting a value to the company which you've not had previously.
Correct.
You don't know what's
your valuation.
You think there's something, but the other person does think. Now where do you land up?
Correct.
So I think that entire experience was very overwhelming, like Akshita said. You're standing there, there are 5 people, and then you're just in the middle of that entire setup. You're already there for about about 90 minutes or 100 minutes standing there, and you have to take a call there.
Yeah.
And you're also conscious of the fact that you are going to be on national TV.
Yeah.
And whatever gets aired, gets aired. So many thoughts. You all just get zoned out.
Yeah.
Your mind stops working. It's not able to calculate. Okay, you got a counter deal, but what does that translate to?
No, you did good there. You went and negotiated. I was like, wow, they actually negotiated with these guys.
Yeah. And but all in all, I think what we the entire experience of Shark Tank, what Sony brings, what the Sharks bring in terms of the experience, the long-term vision, I think that was really important for us, and especially that has also opened up doors in the hardcore B2B industry where people post Shark Tank, post watching their episodes.
Yeah.
The CEOs of companies have asked their managers to reach out to us saying
Very
that
nice.
they're able to do this handwritten recognition or table recognition. Can you ask them if they have an API that can be plugged into our existing tech piece to automate our workflows or something.
Amazing.
I think that has been very strong. That has also helped us chart our next set of tech roadmap to what to include, what not to include. I think it's been very powerful and very pleasant in a sense. So all of these are what Trestle Labs has gained out of Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Much beyond what we've gained is something that individually our parents have gained, because you get calls from these far-fetched relatives who might have seen you when you were just a little guy. And, I saw him on Shark Tank, he's doing very good and we are so proud to see him.
Very nice.
And the joy our parents feel, they feel a social validation saying that
Yeah.
there's something good that these guys have done. I think it's really humbling to see them happy.
Because in India, I know that India is becoming a startup nation, but it's not hard. It's not easy to convince parents. "Hey, kya kar rahe ho tum? Jaake job kar lo." You always get this nag. So beating that and doing something meaningful is like a milestone moment. So on that note, you met the President of India, Murmu, and what was it like talking to her? What did you feel?
I felt, her energy was really calm, and she's a really humble person. And it was our first time one-on-one interaction. So I was selected as a group of 25 women entrepreneurs across India who got an opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction. So we were all in the room, and we all spoke for like 3 to 5 minutes talking about our businesses, and she was actively listening. She was asking questions. She was giving remarks. Even in her concluding speech, she spoke about all of us. Like, I met you and you spoke about this. And so basically she remembered.
Yeah.
I would say, and for her to be able to remember the work that we were doing talks a lot about, her character as a person and her humility with which she was actively listening. She said, "I'm so glad and I'm so honored that you all women entrepreneurs came to meet me. And I'm meeting 25 of you, but I feel I'm meeting 25 crore people because that's the impact that we are creating."
Yeah.
And I would say it is her saying that it's an honor for her to receive us at Rashtrapati Bhavan was a big thing for me personally. Amazing. And again, I got an opportunity to meet her on 26th of January this year, Republic Day of India, where I was invited at an at-home reception after the parade. And she came and I told her we met like 9 days ago on 18th of January, and she said, yeah, I remember. I feel so much power should, to you and to your business, and you can scale it up even further and contribute to the nation building. I would say her remembering me even like 9 days later was a big thing in itself. So I think that was that speaks a lot about India as a culture wherein startups and entrepreneurship is promoted at like policy level as well.
No. See, if India for a long time has been a male-dominant country, but to see a woman leader empowering other women leaders, this is like like a landslide moment. This is like a moment which is going to change things for a long time. Right. So I've never felt that women are less empowered in India for whatever reason. People talk about it, but when you hear stories like this, all our misconceptions are blown away. So great. On that note, you've had more milestones. The movie Shrikant about the Bolland Industries founder and the industrialist. Tell us what it was like partnering with them. Kibo Trestle Labs is an official partner for the movie, and this is like a milestone movie. Like a lot of rave reviews. Tell us what it was like meeting or interacting with Rajkumar Rao or his team. What was that like?
So I think as I told you in the starting of this podcast, I think for us it's one of the core initiatives is of how do we get the word across, because Akshita and Bonny, Trestle Labs, our team members can only do so much. When you get more people involved, sensitized, and part of this journey which is beyond Trestle Labs or Kibo or whatever you're doing, it's about giving everybody an equal opportunity to perform. Let people judge on merit and not somebody's ability or disability. So I think that core philosophy of equal access, inclusive access, and how equal opportunities can really help someone perform at par or beyond what we consider as normal folks. So I think the theme of the movie, the narrative of how the role of an education, how inclusive education is important, and how given the right opportunity and the right resources to get educated can result in tremendous personal as well as professional growth. I think that entire thing was beautifully stitched together in the movie Shrikant. And when we got a call from T-Series saying that, because T-Series also was scouting other companies who are working in the same domain or have a similar narrative or a similar vision. So I think they found us. So when we spoke with them, before Shrikant, we've not kind of done an outbound marketing effort. So far,
Yeah.
it's just a standard social media that we keep running. But I think we saw this as a moment of now or never. And if
Yeah.
not this movie, then what else
Yeah.
can we
yeah.
associate Kibo with? So I think
No.
it was it was a match made in heaven. It's sort of, if I were to say that.
Yeah.
And then we readily agreed, saying, let's do this. We also got the opportunity to meet and thank Rajkumar Rao.
Rajkumar Rao.
Because it's really difficult for somebody who's coming from an outside, to be able to empathize, and not only empathize but act in a way so that the audience are able to relate to
Yeah.
the challenges and also the opportunities that
Yeah.
visually impaired people can have. So I think it was great for us to be to be hosted as inclusive education partners for the movie Shrikant, and I think that's a lot of positive word that we were able to spread out there. Many people were so happy. They called us and say, "Yeah, I saw the movie trailer, and the first thing that we thought about was Kibo." And we're glad we could get that. So I think it was good for Kibo as a brand also, so to be able to have a very positive influence. And Shrikant was a great movie to be associated with.
Yeah, as you were narrating this, I remember that scene where they go to court and first he's not getting admission in IIT, and then they hand the lawyers a book of Braille and they say, read this book.
Yeah.
The lawyers say, I can't read it, it's in Braille. So he says, my world is exactly like that. If you don't have Braille books in IITs, I cannot read.
Right.
We adjust to your world, why can't you adjust to our world? So that's exactly what you're doing. On that note, I've always wondered, you guys are like out and out techies. Like most of us are, I'm also an engineering student. And what is it like when entrepreneurship is thrown at you? You have to hire the right people, you have to do a sales pitch, you have to, I don't know how many VCs you've pitched to, but you have to handle that pressure. But what was that like, what did you feel when you were like thrown into the unknown?
I would say the first experience that we had was unlearning everything that we learned. As engineers, you see a problem, you solve it.
Correct.
As entrepreneurs, you see a problem, you get deeper into it, you understand the challenges, you see how you or your technology can add value, and then you build solution. And you get validated it from the user. It's like co-creating your innovation with the customer or the user of your platform.
Correct.
So I would say that whole unlearning journey of not building things, but right away, and just understanding challenges and getting into that zone of empathizing with the user's needs and building it.
Right.
And I would say the last 6 to 7 years have been a learning journey in itself. We are engineers, we didn't have a formal business education, but this 7 years have taught us everything. Hiring, managing finances, our financial accounting, building the technology, we are doing product management, we are taking care of fundraising, stakeholder management, talking to people, doing sales and business development on our own. I mean, it's been everything that we can think of that in a startup. All those roles we have played, and then we sort of hired the right people and trained them on those skills so that we are able to take up the next, thing in this journey.
Yeah, it's never. There's never a dull moment. Every day is different. You wake up to a different challenge every day. On that note, 9 out of 10 startups are failing. I mean, whether it's India, the United States, or Silicon Valley, or Africa. Why do you think that is, and how has your entrepreneurial experience helped you figure out how to succeed? Why are you not in that 9 out of 10? Why are you in the 1 out of 10? What did you do differently?
I think whether we are 1 or 9, I think it's an ever-evolving journey, the way you look at it. But I think for us, we really believe in very strong fundamentals. My father runs a transportation business, very hardcore industry. And just a story back when I started out saying that this is something that we are trying to build, this back in 2017, I was recent graduating. And my father was like, yeah, very good job, you're doing something socially good with it. Tell me where the money will come from. How will you run your house? And so we've not had investors, but back in 2017, I used to have a barter deal with my father, saying that 6 months down the line, I'll be here somewhere, so I'll have these milestones. and if I don't achieve these milestones, then probably I'll relook if I want to continue this or not. So that always pushed us to making very strong unit economics.
Unit economics, that's
I
right.
think, because we, on a very fundamental basis, we just wanted to make sure that we survive.
Yeah.
Just don't die. Right?
Yeah, and you went to pandemic, post-pandemic.
Yeah.
There were two bubbles, you know.
Pandemic, and I think if so, there are two variables here. One is of what keeps you going. One is the why.
Yeah.
Of why is it that you're doing this, and the second is your why substantiated with strong unit economics. So for us, the why is important. But every single day, you get to hear stories of how a visually impaired individual using Kibo was able to clear UPSC or some government exams.
Amazing.
He's an IAS officer, is posted in a government job. They're now earning more. Some of them, their workplace productivity has increased. There are some students who cracked competitive exams or cleared exams like Dipali. I think these are the stories. So this is like the food for soul.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's food for soul and food for body. Food for body comes from the money that the company makes, and food for soul is these stories.
Yeah.
So the food for soul is what keeps us going. Because even as of today, 7 years almost now since we started, we still get existential question. Why is it that we are doing this? Why not something else? But if you just introspect, look back, these are the things that come up.
Yeah.
Which keeps us going and on this track.
Yeah.
And definitely on the other side, we are a team of 14 strong people now, 14 full-time people.
Nice.
And the ability to have, the fact that you build something which not only gives us the ability that we can pay them and then have them with us, but also build it sustainably and profitably. So I think that has been our philosophy. We are okay if we don't grow. Touch wood, we have grown 4x year on year in terms of revenues as well. But we are not in a mad rush to scale, but do it sustainably. Now we are at a stage, and that's one of the reasons as to why we've not gone with a VC funding so far, because we wanted to make sure that we have figured out what exactly sells, how it sells, and we are able to do it profitably. And now it's just about adding fuel to the fire. So like going forward, even post Shark Tank, the interest that we have received from other investors in India and abroad, we are now looking at strategic partners, somebody who, so our growth is not a function of money. If you say I have $2 million and then I would like to invest, good, thank you for the offer. But what beyond money? Our growth is a function of relationships that the external investor or the partner brings that helps unlock doors for us.
Yeah.
So if there's a set of organizations that we've not been able to reach so far, do you know someone, can you help us navigate their entire landscape so that rather than 8 months, we are able to do it in 2 months.
Yeah.
So I think, that's the way forward for us of partnering with like-minded people. They can be investors, they can be distributors, they can be consultants. Somebody who says, hey Bonny, I really like your technology. I'm in Africa, I'm in Europe, and I want to be a distribution partner or a consultant here, so that I know a few folks here who would really like to have your technology. So I can pitch it to them. Yeah, well and good. We are more than happy to have you on board. I think these are the partnerships that we are looking to have going forward, and that's the way to scale for us.
Wonderful. I not only think you're humble but also daring. You're not arrogant, you're humble and daring, both of you. So I want to talk to you all day, and there's so many questions I have, but I know time will permit only so much. Thank you so much for this most insightful podcast. A very proud milestone moment for me as well. I have my team here with me, and I have you guys who have cleared so many international and national milestones. So wishing you all the very best, and would love to have you back again. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Homies, I'm Vida Patil. Learning startup lessons and getting mentored by a Silicon Valley legend by way of rap songs. Have you ever wondered if startup lessons can be sung in the way of a startup rap song? Listen to one of my Gen Z founders, collaborators, singing my rap song.
Two, one.
A talking table lamp, Kibo Device, converting printed text, making them precise. 600 institutions made them inclusive. 100,000 lives changed, our missions conclusive.
This young girl, vision lost overnight, her spirit shone bright, igniting the light. At Trestle Labs, we took flight, with the vision to empower, turning darkness to sight.
Dear Bonny, we are the names you got to know. Building tech that speaks what our vision to grow. From handwritten to audio, in 60 languages we flow. Making education and jobs for those who've been grow.
Just to the dreamers turning nights into days.
Empowering the world in so many ways.
Akshita and Bonny, remember the names.
At Trestle Labs, we are changing the game.
This young girl, vision taking overnight. One spirit shone bright, igniting the light. At Trestle Labs, we took flight. With the dream to empower, turn darkness to sight. Our talking table lamp, Kibo's the device. Converting printed words, making them precise. 600 institutions, we made them inclusive. 100,000 lives change, our mission's conclusive. So here's to the dreamers, turning nights into days. Empowering the world in so many ways. AK and Bonny, remember the names. At Trestle Labs, we're changing the game. AK and Bonny, they're the names you gotta know. Building tech that speaks, watch our vision grow. From handwritten to audio, in 60 languages we flow, making education and jobs for those who've been low. Yo, I met this young girl, vision taken overnight. But her spirit shone bright, igniting the light. At Trestle Labs we took flight. With a dream to empower, turn darkness to sight. A talking table lamp, Kibo's the device. Converting printed words, making it precise. 600 institutions, we made them inclusive. 100,000 lives changed, our mission's conclusive. So here's to the dreamers, turning nights into days. Empowering the world in so many ways. AK and Bonny, remember the names. At Trestle Labs, we're changing the game. AK and Bonny, they're the names you gotta know. Building tech that speaks, watch our vision grow. From handwritten to audio, in 60 languages we flow. Making education and jobs for those who've been low.
Check out the book 10 on 10, 10 startup lessons under 10 minutes each.
Do you want to learn about startups under 10 minutes? Check out the book 10 on 10, 10 startup ideas under 10 minutes.
Check out the book 10 on 10 by Vida, Patil and Jagdish.